Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about some existentialism questions, in particular interpreting the questions and thinking what sort of material we could include to make a good answer. First title I want to look at is this one, with reference to the topic you've investigated, examine and comment on the significant features of a philosopher, stroke philosophers, within the philosophy of religion. Now, the key thing in here is you have to examine and comment on first. That means you're looking for the first 2/3 or so of your essay to be analysis, explanation, and the last part of your essay will be an argument, a balanced argument where you assess the strengths and weaknesses, the advantages and drawbacks of existentialism, and give a clear conclusion. Now, you're also going to be talking about the significant features here, so you've got to avoid just listing what everyone said. You've got to really try and focus in on key features. Now, it's up to you what you choose, of course. Ideas of freedom, individuality, faith are all important. Being authentic, whatever subjectivity, whatever you choose, these are going to be the features, and I think you want to begin your essay with a bit of an introduction, just saying which philosophers you're going to talk about, a little bit about who they are and what some of the key themes are going to be. Then you need to get into some really significant features of Kierkegaard and Sartre. Maybe go backwards and forwards a bit between them. You then need to analyse a little bit about how they're contributing to the philosophy of religion. So remember that with Kierkegaard, he's in terms of philosophy of religion, he's Kierkegaard's subjective truth will lead us into fideism, which is quite a distinctive position within philosophy of religion. And Sartre, of course, will take us into atheism, and we've also seen how other philosophers influenced by existentialism, like Paul Tillich, Rudolf Bultmann, have also made a big contribution to liberal Christianity. So these are the sort of areas you might want to examine. You will want to give an argument as well, so you'll need to comment on how people might, what their strengths would be, how people might challenge existentialism. Then you might want to give responses to those challenges and give some sort of balanced conclusion. Now, once you've learned how to do one title, you'll find the other ones pretty easy as well. Here's another one: the work of scholars within the philosophy of religion provokes considerable debate. You have to examine and comment on this claim with reference to existentialism. Now, here, of course, you need to examine the work of scholars, that is, the work of Kierkegaard and Sartre. That means you need to talk through their main ideas: subjective truth, existence precedes essence, and so on, being authentic. And you then need to talk about how these philosophers have provoked considerable debate. So you might want to talk about, it means when you're talking about the impact they had, like fideism and different ideas of God, as in Paul Tillich, or ideas of miracles and whatever, you want to comment on how these might have been good, but also why they might have been criticised, so why they provoked debate, why people might challenge those views, and you need to reach a conclusion on what you think. Do you think they've been helpful? Do you think existentialism has given a helpful contribution, or not? So you need to use that word debate, talk about the areas which are controversial and which people might have criticised. Then here's another one: the study of philosophy of religion provides valuable insight into religion and or God. Well, you need to examine and comment on this claim, again with reference to existentialism. So to interpret that question, what it's asking you to do is to say, does existentialism give valuable insight into religion and or God? Now, you can discuss that with reference to Kierkegaard. Definitely, Kierkegaard gives very clear views on religion, organised religion, and also God, of course. His idea of faith in God, is very, very distinctive, subjective truth, and so on. But of course, Sartre as well has significant insights, because for him, if we're going to be free, then there will be no God. So that is an insight in its own right. So you need to go through your usual stuff, really, with Kierkegaard and Sartre, explaining them, but you need to use that phrase, insight into religion and or God, occasionally. When you're introducing key features, you might want to talk about this is a way that an insight that Kierkegaard has into some aspect of God or religion. So then in your argument, you need to be talking about whether this was a valuable insight or not. So how valuable? Is it a helpful insight? Not such a helpful insight? Is Kierkegaard good? Is Sartre better than or more helpful insight than Kierkegaard? You could talk about that. And then talk about existentialism generally as to how helpful, how valuable their insights have been. Bring in all the criticisms as usual. And lastly, we have examined and comment on the distinctive contributions to philosophy of religion made by one or more philosophers you have investigated. Well, this is a pretty easy title, really. Focus on, again, begin with the key ideas, subjective truth, existence of its essence, and so on, but then particularly the contributions. So talking about, you talk about religion and morality, of course, with the stages of life, Abraham's story. You've got Science and Religion, Miracles with Bultmann. You've got The Nature of God with Paul Tillich. You've got Atheism with Sartre. And all these are contributions to philosophy of religion, and they're fairly distinctive, show how they are different from other classical philosophers like Thomas Aquinas and so on, Immanuel Kant. Try and show what's distinctive about existentialism, and that'll help you to answer this question. As ever, comment, so you need to say, is this a helpful contribution or not such a helpful contribution? So there you go. Those are some past essay questions. If you can write one essay on those, then the other ones should be fairly similar.